But why? Why do mods feel like they've become stagnant? There's a couple of reasons: burnout, motivation, time. But one reason I think doesn't get enough discussion is what some call version chasing. Version chasing can be defined as to be overly focused on the porting of one's mods, to the detriment of the quality of said mods. For those not aware, Mojang tends to rewrite large chunks of their game on a patch-by-patch basis, which means that mod developers need to do the same in their own code in order to keep up with Mojang's code changes. In theory, this doesn't sound too bad, but the amount of code changes Mojang makes with each patch can be massive, which can cause the required effort from mod developers to be equally massive. This is part of why large mods tend to consolidate on specific versions like 1.7, 1.12, and 1.20. When the changes are too large, mod developers of big mods just end up not porting, as the effort would be too great. That's why the inverse is also true, with mods not being in the latest patches due to it not being worth the effort. This even has knock-on effects for things like mod packs, but we'll get to that later. That's not to say that porting is always bad. Mojang does implement good front and back end changes, but rather the... Anyways, 26.1. Those were the back-end changes that mod developers would have to keep in mind just to port from 1.21.1 to 26.1. Given the amount of content that has been backported, it makes you wonder what's been added in the past year. Surely it's worth all this effort that people have been putting towards getting people to jump through all these hoops again, right? Let's take it from the top. As you likely already know, Mojang has been working on refactoring how rendering is handled, which is part of why the mod porting pointers are as long as they are this time around. And as you can likely guess, they're not even done with this refactor yet, so mod developers will end up having to do all of this again next year as Minecraft switches from OpenGL to Vulkan. Some users might mention Java 25 and its performance improvements, but there's not much stopping you from running Java 25 on 1.20 and 1.21. Forge and NeoForge support them. I got Cabin and Monofactor running on Java 25, and all it really took was just updating Forge and swapping the Java version. You can do the same yourself, it's really not hard. Hell, I'll show you right now. Open your instance's settings, skip the Java compatibility checks, change your Java edition to Java 25, and update Forge if you got to. It's as simple as that. Another point one might make is deobfuscation. Isn't that supposed to make modding easier? While it's certainly a nice gesture from Mojang, they've been providing mappings for years, roughly since 1.15, which do effectively the same thing. Mappings provide keys for obfuscated values, allowing you to see what's going on by matching the keys to their obfuscated values, with this process having been automated. Deobfuscation itself doesn't make porting any easier, it's just the unobfuscated source code for any given version. Really, the only change to come from this was parameter names, and that's it. Again, while it's certainly a nice gesture from Mojang, it's nowhere near the game changer that some are making it out to be. As for the player-sided features added in the drops, what already hasn't been said on the matter? Vanilla players have been voicing complaints about the drop content, and like mentioned before, it's already been backported. Maybe it's just me, but I've noticed that players have begun to wise up to this whole porting cycle, and are asking developers to not immediately port their mods to next version. Instead, focus on developing their mods further. I mean, honestly, I think most other players just assume that Minecraft is like games that have their own dedicated modding APIs and are simply unaware of the time and effort required to port mods on a patch-by-patch basis. But enough about the fire and brimstone. Let's talk about some of the positives of chilling out a bit. The biggest one, and the one you've probably been thinking about, is just having more time to develop things. I know, having more time to develop things means you have more time to develop. Crazy. But just that one change causes a significant domino effect. Mods are able to have more features, be supported for longer, and mod developers have more time to experiment and just have fun with changes. Higher quality mods leads to higher quality mod packs, both because of a better selection of mods, and also just because, like mod developers, pack developers need time in order to develop quality mod packs and want to develop on versions that will continue to be supported by the mod developers. In turn, mod packs lead to more high quality mods being created as projects gain developers and project scope expands, and the version seems stable, which in turn encourages more mod developers. Ever wonder why quality mod packs seem like such a rarity on modern versions, and why they all seem to be on version 1.20? It's because of that. Not giving mod and pack developers time ensures that you only ever get slop, because slop doesn't require time and effort. Simply put, You'll never get another Blightfall, Vault Hunters, or even E2E if things continue the way that they are. So then, how do you help make things better? It's okay to say no to things. Mod developers, you don't have to port to every single patch just because of group pressure. Players also have a choice in the matter as well. You can stick with more established versions, and there's nothing wrong with that. Most mod developers make and port mods to versions that are A, popular, and B, think will be popular, so by making it clear which versions are not popular, you can eliminate a lot of the hassle for them. It's a win-win for everyone. This all begs the question of, which version then? Currently, Forge 1.20 overall has more mods and is actively developed, but 1.21 is the first major Neo-Forge version, which does bring useful changes on the mod developer end, and on the player end, Fabric mods are moving over or going multi-loader. At the same time, 1.20's momentum is undeniable, with various mods already backport into 1.20 due to all the players staying on it and the continued development, and other mods not having made the jump. At the same time, 1.21's mod developer base might end up splitting in half due to a number of them leaving for 26.1. Given all of that, I'm going to have to go with 1.20 as my pick, due to a larger variety of mods while still being an active version with much mod and pack development happening. While I am certainly aware of the changes 1.21 brings, I believe that by the time everything ports over, Mojang will release an update that would have made the accumulated front and back end changes worth it anyways. I might come back to this in the future if Mojang does end up dropping another major update. But for now, let's stick here and chill out for a bit.